And we're back. The time is now 5:15. Again, we've got some developing stories that we're following this morning. On the right-hand side, live pictures, courtesy of KTLA TV, giving us these live shots of Southern California and the fire still burning this morning. We're going to leave those shots up for you as we continue on with our news this morning. We'll get back to the fire in a moment. In the meantime, direct your attention to the left portion of the screen there. The latest now on the J.C. Dugard case. Police say they have found one small bone fragment on the property next door to the home of Philip Garrido. Also, county inspectors have now condemned his home, deeming it unsafe due to substandard structures and buildings. And a woman who says Garrido kidnapped and raped her speaks out about her ordeal. We heard from her in our last segment. We'll play more of that interview with you coming up in just a little bit. In the meantime, as we said, we're learning more about Philip Garrido and the history of trouble and his history with the law coming up here in a minute. He was convicted of, as we said, rape and kidnapping and sentenced to life in prison, but he was eventually paroled. We spoke to the former Nevada prosecutor that put Garrido behind bars back in the 1970s, and he believes Garrido should have been locked up for life. He was convicted to a life sentence, but he was let go. Here's more of what that prosecutor had to say.
Garrido had kidnapped a 25-year-old woman in South Lake Tahoe, the same place that the Dugard kidnapping occurred. So I did argue for a life sentence, which would have been the maximum available under the Nevada statute at the time, and that was because of the egregious nature of the case. We're dealing with a real deviant and somebody that society obviously needs to be protected from. It looks like the system definitely let everybody down, especially now we see J.C. Dugard, because this guy was paroled in 1988, and 3 years later he kidnaps her in South Lake Tahoe. So yeah, I think the system let everybody down, unfortunately.
And of course, we later learned that Garrido served only 10 years of his 50-year sentence for kidnapping and just 7 months for his life sentence for rape. We've put calls out there to the parole department in Nevada. We haven't heard back yet. We're trying to find out why in the world he was let go only 7 months into a lifetime sentence. Be sure to stay tuned to KRON 4 News for the latest. We're going to have all the information available on our website as it develops, so give it a look. KRON4.com. Meanwhile, the latest now on the wildfires burning in Southern California. You see those live pictures on the right-hand side of your screen. We have another set of live pictures now on the left as well, courtesy of KCAL. Both TV news stations have their choppers high above, giving us a perspective here of the fires as it continues to burn now. 53 homes destroyed, 12,000 still threatened. It's called the Station Fire, and it has killed now 2 firefighters and burned more than 100,000 acres. The official count now about 105,000 acres. Residents who lost their homes have begun to return now, but there's not much more left than just ashes. The lack of wind has kept the flames from driving into the heart now of some of the dense suburbs northeast of Los Angeles, but obviously the worry is that those winds could pick up at any moment. Let's get over to the Weather Center now, where Drew Harmon's tracking the latest on the forecast. Good morning, Drew.
Good morning, James. Looking at a mild start all around the Bay Area today, 3 degrees at the coast, and we'll stay around that mark as we head through the 3-day weekend. Right now it's 5:19 on the KRON 4 Morning News. Let's get a check on some traffic with George.
As we head out toward Interstate 580 to track the ride westbound, coming through the Livermore Valley. Yesterday, this was a hot spot for some. And let's head out to the Bay Bridge, actually to Yerba Buena Island, as we continue our countdown to the shutdown. KRON 4's Yoli Aceves back at the construction site, where in just, let's see, what, Yoli, about 48 hours? We're going to be seeing a lot of activity out here.
Yeah, it's still pretty quiet out here because some of the workers haven't arrived, but yeah, it's still very impressive looking with all the machinery and the structure that they have up here and what's going to be happening. I think this is one of the biggest project that's going on in the United States right now, is the actually making this detour part to make this new part of the bridge.
And the single biggest project that Caltrans has ever undertaken, according to spokesperson Bart Ney. And we'll be talking with Yoli throughout the morning here on the KRON 4 Morning News as we continue our countdown to the shutdown. Remember now, just 2 days away, Thursday night at 8 p.m. Right now it's 5:22 on the KRON 4 Morning News. Time for a break. We'll be right back.
And we're back. 5:25 is the time. Again, just a quick update on the wildfires burning in Southern California. We've got some live pictures to show you this morning. A couple of news stations have their choppers up down there in LA showing us the station fire is what it's called, the station fire. It's burned about 105,000 acres right now, 12,000 homes threatened. And listen to this, more than 50 homes destroyed already by this fire. Of course, we've already been reporting to you this fire has claimed the lives of 2 firefighters, and it is growing. Right now, the containment's still only about 5% this morning, so we're going to be keeping our eye on this as it continues to develop. You know, it's an intense fire that still continues to burn. We're going to be staying on this story all morning long for you, giving you updates throughout the day. So stay tuned to KRON 4 for the latest on this. In the meantime, we're also following another Mother Nature event, Hurricane Jimena, nearing Category 5 strength as it heads towards Baja California. In fact, we have some pictures here of some of the heavy rain in Los Cabos, Mexico yesterday, with winds topping at about 155 miles per hour. And forecasters say that Jimena could hit the Mexican peninsula resort towns and fishing villages by tonight. Emergency workers have in fact begun evacuating thousands of people from shanty towns in the region, where we've got about 10,000 people or so living in shacks that are made of nothing more than plastic sheeting, some wood, some reeds. Bands of heavy rain now already moving across the resort town of Los Cabos. In fact, the local hotel association is estimating some 7,000 tourists are still there, trapped right now, waiting to ride out Hurricane Jimena, which again could reach Category 5 strength by the time it hits that area. So we're going to keep an eye on that as well. All right, the time now 5:27. Don't forget, only 2 days left now until the Bay Bridge shutdown this holiday weekend coming up. Thursday at 8 p.m. they shut the bridge down. If you need more information on what they're doing and how to get around, go to our website, KRON4.com. We've got a special section there set up just for you. We'll be right back.